light and perfection of God, pure innocence of all creation. It always comes back to innocence, because it is the innocence that has to be embraced, has to be accepted and held for its purity, for its truth. To really embody, to really embrace the innocence would truly mean that you forgive every element of the past, every idea, every part of the story of your identity and what happened and what didn't happen and what someone did and what someone didn't do and what you think you did and what you think you didn't do. All of those thousands of reactions, millions maybe of reactions and opinions and places where you saw things as difficult and having to navigate and figure out how to protect and defend, all of it would disappear with the acceptance of innocence. Because innocence is completely without any identity other than innocence. The longing for innocence is there within the heart. The ego has no use for innocence. It mocks innocence because to the ego, innocence is naive and unsophisticated. The ego wants your identity to be of figuring things out and getting ahead and winning and proving. Everyone has had a fantasy of winning and then showing particularly others from the past how much better you are than they thought you were going to be, or things like that. All of that just falls away when you're willing to see the innocence of every beloved, the innocence of life itself, the innocence of creation. And you'll rejoice in that innocence because, of course, it includes you. But imagine the life of ease when no one is guilty and no one is needing to be reprimanded for anything. The realization that no one would have anything to strive for, that everything would already be accepted, would take all of the games out. The games would just disappear. And your only tendency would be to want to bring flowers to everyone, to express the innocence of everyone through the innocence of the flower. The easy road of love is the road of innocence. With this innocence, We invite all of the universe. We affirm that the universe is complete innocence, and in that, so is every beloved. The universe is filled with love. Love is all innocence, purity, never having changed, never having altered from its original state of purity. The sanctuary is filled with innocence, love, because nothing else is wanted or called for. The mind of each beloved may think that their mind is going to somehow overcome the love, but the love always remains in its steadiness, in its truth. And love only offers forgiveness. Even though forgiveness is temporary, love, while it's needed, only offers forgiveness. Calling every beloved back to joy, back to harmony, back to peace. Letting the nightmares go as the heart says yes. Only love. Only love. In this prayer, the innocence is calling through love to join. Feel your tenderness, I feel your tenderness. I feel the tenderness of your ever-loving hand. I feel the tenderness. I feel the tenderness. I feel the tenderness from deep within. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel the mercy, Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I feel the mercy, Lord. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel your mercy, Lord, from deep within. I see your beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I see your beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord, from deep within. I sense your truth, O Lord. I sense your truth, O Lord. I sense your truth, O Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I sense your truth, O Lord. I sense your truth, O Lord. I sense your truth, O Lord, from deep within. How do you feel the tenderness of God's love? By accepting the innocence. The blockage of the ego says, no, I don't want to get close to the truth. I want to stay in the difficulty. That's the ego's intention. But when you accept the innocence of your heart, you can open to the tenderness. The tenderness is waiting to be felt in your heart, and that the tenderness can just bathe you completely in God's love. And the willingness to accept that, the willingness to accept mercy, that it's readily available, and that mercy just says you have done nothing. You have never left your home of oneness. What greater mercy is that than to realize that your death sentence that the ego has decided on is no longer valid. It's just gone. Because the mercy of love says you are the light of love. And do you see the beauty? You want to see the beauty of love, you see it through innocence. You see it in each beloved as you are willing to see the truth of them, the light of them. You are seeing the beauty of God, and it's available in every moment, within every beloved, the beauty of God. And the truth is in the innocence. The truth is the willingness to be shown the direction to walk moment to moment, remembering, allowing, and inviting truth. That is the divine legacy of love that is always calling, always available. I give my mind and my heart to God, and I ask for help to see the truth, the beauty in the sun and the moon and the stars and in the forest, in the earth and the sea, all expressions beyond the form of God's perfect presence. I am here because it is what I am called to do, to affirm and to hail the beauty and perfection of all masters, and to affirm the love that they have all brought into the earth plane of love, the purity of love given to every beloved. This love is so pure and eternal, and it lives in the everyday life, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be embraced, and being seen. And as you see the light, you're available for the purification through the light, ready to receive, ready to accept. And this eternal love is so pure, so filled with innocence, that this eternal love of God and the light itself is a marvelous light that shines here all the time, waiting to be embraced and acknowledged and lived as the heart says yes. Vou ligar o meu pensamento, só onde eu devo ligar. No sol, na lua, nas estrelas, na floresta, na terra, no mar. Está a estrada que estou andando, eu a mesmo mestre andou. É a estrada de Jesus Cristo, onde nós afirmamos o amor. O amor eterno tá puro, que nem todos podem falar. É quem leva-nos nas alturas para nos purificar. O amor eterno de Deus vive nas matas sombrias, e uma luz maravilhosa que ilumina todo dia. Your heart can sing the praises of love as you walk in the world. Is your heart singing? Let your heart sing. Don't restrict yourself from singing praises of God and love songs of the deep, beautiful, harmonious connection that is always there. Sing the song of love as you walk in the world, and your heart will burst and pour that love into every beloved just through your inability to stop singing. Ingredients from all thought. There is still a part of you that moves on all fours. Wheels now instead of hooves. One wheel from the east, one wheel from the west, a representative of the north and a delegate from the south. Do you know them? They are now a part of your every hour. I know I'm being cryptic. Now I will be more plain. Ingredients from all thoughts and realms and time, past, present, and future, are in you. Words from the great prophets brought to mind every day would help you reach your potential and will help you recognize your true worth. Reveal your true self to us so that the cries of darkness no longer disturb anything that you love. Become that which the unlit wick goes to for light. Heaven guards our souls because they are so precious. A brightness we can give even God needs. If this was not true, why would he even ever bow to us? And that he has, I know. I have seen his profound humility. Service to others will help you become deaf to a voice inside of you that does not believe in happiness. And while you are at it, remembering things, find what is needed. Imbibe the words of your teachers and let their words be your sacred repertoire. Then, if you ever are in a jam, there are pawn shops, I know, where you can cash them in. All fours. That is cryptic. But to realize that the ingredients from all thoughts and realms and time, past, present, and future, are in you. That is a mind-boggling and helpful awareness that they're all in you. All the words of the past, every thought that has ever been in this world is in you. That's why it's so essential to enter into the not knowing. The not knowing is the remedy to all of the ego's games. When you enter into, I don't know, in that moment, Just in that moment when you accept, I don't know, for any situation, or just sitting, waiting, you don't know. But when you enter into that agreement of I don't know, it is a remedy. It is medicine. And the medicine breaks the chain of all of those thoughts and all of the realms and time, past, present, and future, that are in you. It gets broken. You have introduced, in the not knowing, you have introduced a remedy, medicine, the medicine of love, into your beingness, so that you can be relieved of all of the lies that have been running the illusions since the beginning of time. That is what you're stepping away from. You're stepping away from the legacy, the agreement of time, of the ego, that says, this is the world that's real, and you know all about it. Every thought that you've had has been a part of that illusion. So what a perfect gift. It would be like being handed the most precious commodity in the universe, brought to you in a sacred bowl that says, take this, use this, and let it set you free. And it will set you free. They're just perceived to be just words. I don't know. I don't know how to look on this. I don't know what it means. I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. And I don't know even what the answer is. The ego would want to convince you that aligning with I don't know is foolish, that you are ruining your life because you have spent lifetimes honing your knowing, your intelligence, your story, your identity, everything, the self-concept of an identity. And here comes this little remedy which can set the entire world free from the bondage of lies. Not anyone really, my sense is, the first time that they say, I don't know, purposefully, have an inkling of the power that they have in that gift. And that gift was given by the beloved who was known as Jesus. That he brought that to the earth plane to set humanity free, to break the trance, the spell of the story, of the knowing, of the identity. The ego would try to convince you that if you say, I don't know, in a situation, that it would make you regret the purpose of it. Because in the world, you would say, no, I want to be the first one who knows. I want to be the one who brings the information. I want to be the one who sets the standard for knowing. And my way is the way. I have spent my centuries honing my way. And now God is calling to let go of what you think your way is, because it's been all fabricated out of a need for the belief of protection. That's what the idea of worth is for. Every time that you would want to prove your worth, there has to be a counter. The counter has to be unworth in order to try to prove worth. If you are accepting that you are the innocence and the light of God, all the knowing and all of the proving becomes the laughter of the journey. It's a beautiful place to live, in the laughter of the journey that recognizes there's nothing to prove. And that the I don't know is a place of respite and ease and light that opens the doorway to the knowledge and perfection of God's harmony. Everything is available to you in every moment, but it isn't available with knowing. When the mind is occupied in knowing the personal, there is no room for the healing. There's no room for peace and harmony and joy, because there's a commitment to having the world be as it's supposed to be by the idea of the past. Every idea that is brought from the past is being called to be let go, to come empty. Imagine that there is a moment where you realize that all that you thought you knew is being just let go. Just let go. And that there is a light of love that is available to show you moment to moment what is most helpful and what will be the most powerful way to remember. All of that is yours as you step into the not knowing. Reveal your true self to us, so that the cries of darkness no longer disturb anything that you love. Become that which the unlit wick goes to for light. The wick is looking for the light, and you are the light. If you are available, you become the light that serves humanity. Service to others will help you become deaf to a voice inside you that does not believe in happiness. Now, maybe most beloveds would say, I don't think that there's a voice inside me that does not believe in happiness. I'm all for happiness, except that the belief of lack and the belief of difficulty runs the show, and the ego has no intention of opening to happiness. You must be a renegade. You must be the one who jumps off the freeway at the different off-ramp and says, I'm going to find God. I'm going to find happiness because it's my birthright. I'm saying yes to happiness. And here is this beautiful teaching that says, here's the secret to happiness. Service to others opens the door to happiness. How is that possible? service to others is really about your heart. It isn't about just being a doer that is constantly finding others to be of service to. It's the service of charity that your heart is willing to see the innocence of every beloved. That is the service, and that is what engenders happiness. The more that you see and hold each beloved as innocent and incapable of doing anything to you that will change the truth of who you are. Incapable. No one can touch the truth of who you are. No one. Nothing that anyone could say, nothing that anyone could do can in any way alter the truth of your being. So there is nothing at all to protect or defend from any other beloved. So you have complete carte blanche, openness, complete red light, green light, open it up. You have the complete way to always offer love, because no one can do anything to you. That's the first step, is why am I criticizing or judging anyone when it has nothing to do with me? The only reason that there would be any criticism or judgment of anyone is to have the thought ahead, I have to protect something in me. I have to make sure that I'm protected, so I have to defend against a perception of someone else's wrongdoing or limitation. It has to be for the wanting of getting that we would want someone else to be different or to judge them. If the Holy Spirit calls to you to serve another, it is never with judgment or criticism. It is always with divine love and service. So there is nothing that needs protection. Now, sometimes we talk a lot about judgment. And sometimes judgment is seen as negativity. So that if you say something that is nice about someone or funny, then it becomes okay. But it's all still judgment. Let's say you have a friend who has on a new coat. And you want to make sure that you tell them that you like their coat. How does that serve them? To tell them that you like their coat, that's where the questioning is. Is this going to serve them? Will they be uplifted, or will they be brought back into the world of duality? To say that you like somebody's coat is still a judgment. If you were saying to them, I'm happy that you have a new coat, if that's what was most helpful, that is your heart. But there doesn't need to be any judgment of the good or the bad of it. but just the blessing of it. Everything becomes a blessing. The other element that is fraught with the ego's wanting all ingredients from all thoughts is comparisons. The comparisons in the world are such a painful place. As soon as you compare anything with anyone, you're separated. To compare is to say this and that, and there is no union. And to compare has to make that something is less or more than something else. Someone walks in with a new coat. It's a blessing that they have that coat. But let's say in your mind, everything in you wants to compare. I have a coat like that, except it's longer, or it's a different color. Will that help that beloved? Will that serve that beloved to be in a blessing? It's a question of intention. What is it for? And the more that you enter into I don't know, the more those questions become upfront in your awareness. What is this for? If I don't know anything, how could I judge the coat? And what could I compare it to? I don't know. And why would I compare it to anything? Everything is habit, trance, and in the ego world trying to get. Heaven guards our souls because they are so precious. Service to others will help you become deaf to a voice inside you that does not believe in happiness. Sometimes we don't know. I certainly did not know that I was opposed to happiness, that I was locked in a very subtle way. I was locked into seeing the world through difficulty. Well, if you're locked into seeing the world through difficulty, you're not available for happiness because they can't live together. So love is calling you to let go of the acceptance that life is difficult, or that you know what difficulty is, or that you are the judge and the jury of the difficulty. All form is neutral. It doesn't matter what shows up. It is the meaning that you give to it that causes the suffering or not suffering. And God is calling you, I am calling you out of love to truly not believe the meaning that you give to anything. Step into the not knowing. If you're in the not knowing, you have no meaning to give to anything, which is the easy way. I don't know how to look at this, but if it's here, if this is the form that's showing up, I can bring love to it. And I will bring love to it because that's my intention. And that becomes the happiness. And that becomes the service. Because as you bring love to everything, you're serving everyone and everything. I underlined a sentence. If you have the gift of everything, can loss be real? Can pain be part of peace or grief of joy? Can fear and sickness enter in a mind where love and perfect holiness abides? Truth must be all-inclusive if it is to be truth at all. Accept no opposites and no exceptions, for to do so is to contradict the truth entirely. Again, the Holy Spirit is calling to not knowing. You can't confuse peace and difficulty. Peace and pain can't be confused, except if you think you know what it is. I don't know how to look at this. I don't know what it means, but I'm willing to be shown a new way. That's all that love is calling you to. I had a beloved today that said they were determined to find the way to peace and find the truth. And I reminded them that they only needed to have a little willingness. They didn't have to come to it completely already having figured out anything. It's the most beautiful relationship that could possibly be. It's the relationship with the Holy Spirit. And through the relationship with the Holy Spirit, the relationship with all divine beings, all guides that are wanting to show you the truth, that becomes your voice as you let go of the voice of the ego. They can't both be yelling at you at the same time, or calling to you, or speaking to you at the same time. If the ego's voice is in charge, that's what you'll hear. If you turn to the Holy Spirit and ask for that guidance of love, show me the way. Show me what's most helpful here. I don't know. I don't know how to look at this. I don't know how to open my heart in this moment. Show me the way. And the Holy Spirit will show the way. To embrace really, really, really that your meaningless thoughts show you a meaningless world. This is one of the number one teachings. My meaningless thoughts show me a meaningless world. And if that's embraced, then the Holy Spirit can really enter, because you are in alignment with your awareness that your meaningless thoughts only have the capability of showing you a meaningless world. That you give those thoughts meaning means that you give the world that you see meaning too, but in actuality, it still remains meaningless. Even if you give it meaning, it's not real, so it's still meaningless. But it's the journey of love, that it has to be remembered in that way. You cannot understand love or how much you are loved. There is no parallel in your experience of the world that will help you understand it. This is not a game that the ego plays of you can't understand love until you accept love. And it's not like a game of a Christmas present that you won't be able to see that present until Christmas morning. It's yours now. You will enter into the truth of love as you want it and are willing that you don't know the truth of love. When beloveds come to the spiritual journey, they have a concept already. Everyone does. I did. a concept that we know what love is. That, okay, well, here's love, and we're going to hold this as our reserve, but this is what we believe in, is what we consider to be love. And what happens in the spiritual journey is that every beloved has to surrender all that you thought was love, because it's upside down. To empty yourself into the not knowing of love, and to really learn to love. Now, this goes against the personal attachment to everyone that believes they know love already. But everything that has been made of love in this world has been a detour. Every element of love within the ego identity is about getting. It's about winning and proving and being safe. That's why all beloveds are always called to serve, because it lets you step out of that false identity with love and lets you open your heart and offer love without conditions in a new way, because it's brand new. It hasn't been known. There's a beautiful prayer that says, "Mother, oh my mother, please come here, please, and teach this child of yours who doesn't yet know how to love." That prayer says, I don't know how to love, and I want to learn. I can guarantee you that I did not know the truth of love, that everything that I believed was love was based on fear. It was based on the fear of being alone, the fear of not getting, the fear of trying to prove worth, of being accepted instead of rejected. All of it was fear and hatred. It wasn't love at all. It was even fear with children, that they would prove how ungood I was as a parent. It's all fear. Every decision that was made was to try to have the self be okay, prove worth in any way possible. There is no love there. And if you truly want to love, then you come to the door, and you surrender. I want the truth of love. I want to be able to truly love and to be that love, because that is who and what God says I am. It takes courage to allow the Holy Spirit to shine the light on the false idea of love and the false idea of identity in the world. It takes courage to have that exposed just to you, to be in the closet with God and let the Holy Spirit run the movie of what has been in the way of learning to love. Where the Holy Spirit shows you the errors of believing that love was scarce, that love was not freely given, and that you had to get love from something outside. And here was the Holy Spirit saying, no, you are that love. You've just made a false identity that looks nothing like the truth of love, not evil, but not connected to love. And in that honesty, you ask for the truth. You ask for the Holy Spirit to show you the way of embracing love. Most of the time, it feels like you're back in first grade, because nothing that you learned has any value to bring with you. So you're beginning in the first grade again. But it's the happiness class that illuminates the truth of love and illuminates the truth of your innocence and illuminates your resting in the grace of God. That you can't prove anything. You can't prove anything through the word of love. You can't prove anything through any relationship. It's not possible. So it's all let go. And every relationship is given to the Holy Spirit to be transformed, to be cleansed. This is the symbolism of baptism in the world, to be cleansed, to begin again. So every day that you ask for help, every day that you ask to be shown the way of love and how to serve in that love, is a new baptism every time. It's a cleansing every time. Deeper and deeper and deeper into the cleansing of love until there's nothing left of a resemblance of who you thought you were, or who anybody else was, or what the world was, but coming back to that love. Service to others will help you become deaf to the voice inside you that does not believe in happiness. Become deaf. Become deaf to the voice that says, I want to compare. Become deaf to the voice that says, I have pride and I want to prove things. Deaf to the ideas of scarcity. Deaf to all the voices of the ego that have no value, and you are no longer willing to play their dancing game. Only love. You cannot understand love or how much you are loved. There is no parallel in your experience of the world that will help you understand it. You cannot understand love. And yet, this moment, right this moment, the Holy Spirit is available to you to embrace and learn the truth of love. As you meet this divine teacher in the sanctity of your heart, this divine teacher teaches the truth of love. For you to enter and find the enormity of your divine self, the love that you are, the beauty that you are. So these don't just stay as words. I could say till the cows come home, the beauty that you are, the love that you are. But to accept that is then to have, if you accept that you are the love and the light of God, there's not going to be anything left in you that's going to want to compare or up somebody in that you've had the same coat or the same whatever, drink of water, it doesn't matter. It's like none of it needs to be used for proving. Nothing needs to be used. Just coming back to the innocence of love. I seek but what belongs to me. This is your prayer. Love is my heritage, and with it joy. These are the gifts that God has given to me, and I will accept all that is mine in truth. These are profound intentions and prayers. And when you speak them, when you allow them to be in your heart, they open the door, and they open up your wisdom, and they open you up to being able to be in communion with the Holy Spirit. Your acknowledgement is saying, yes, come in and teach me. Come in and show me. I am available. Let me remember love is happiness and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitute for love. Well, how would you not choose to use a substitute for love? You would have to give yourself over to the Holy Spirit to say, show me the truth of love, because I don't want a substitute for love. So I'm willing for you to teach me about love. I will accept all the teachings of love as you show them to me. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I choose it for everyone. I don't just choose it for the self. I choose it for everyone. That you don't want to bring pain or disturbance to anything or anyone, not being responsible for their journey at all, but wanting to hold everyone in peace and harmony and the truth of their divine self. And that every single moment, no matter who the beloved is, they are in the hands of God. They are held. And there you rest also because of your happiness that they're held. That you never have to worry about anyone ever again, because there is no worry in love. And when you are trusting that you have given every beloved into the hands of God, you're no longer in charge of anything. But you can happily walk in this world free of any burdens, because everything is in the hands of God. And you trust that everything will unfold in me for everyone. That doesn't mean that the outside form is what you would perceive to be good or not so good. It's going beyond the form, not being caught by the form at all, that the form is meaningless. The way things look has no meaning to it. And if it has meaning for you, then you suffer. Because if it isn't a form that you like, then it's going to be a place of suffering because you want it to be different. And yet peace is right there, right here, in this moment. There's nothing missing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing without. Love is all that there is. I can't tell you how many thousands of times I would come back and affirm that only love was real, that only peace was true, and that it didn't matter what I perceived, everything was peaceful if I chose it to be, because that was the truth of the inner heart. And it had nothing to do with how things looked on the outside. Remembering always that it's the thoughts that you believe in that you then see projected for you. And that you have the power to change your perception. Let's say you're vying for a job. You make an application and everything. And then your whole focus is, I have to get this job because it's going to prove my worth, because it's going to do whatever it needs to do. But really, you've put the job into the hands of God. And if you put the job into the hands of God, it will be, if that is the most helpful for you, for your remembering. If that job will help you in your remembering, it will open. If it's not helpful for you, it won't. It's not personal. It's not personal like you're good or you're bad, so you either get the job or you don't. The spirit of love is actually orchestrating your relationship with everything, if you allow, to be to what is most helpful for you. And if it's not most helpful for you, then it's the blessing that it doesn't unfold in that way, and you can trust, thy will be done. I'm just showing up where I'm supposed to be and trusting in the unfolding. How easy is that? To know that you are so held, that you are so loved, that the spirit of love is always available for you to be guided and to be shown the way of love itself. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Keep inviting the blessings of the moment and the innocence, and that you don't know. I don't know how to look at this. I don't know what it's for, but I'm in the hands of God, and it will unfold in its perfect harmony. I accept that. And I accept that. How would I know better than God what is most helpful? No way. It's always the wisdom of the divine that speaks. I am grateful that what I see is not the truth, unless I'm seeing with love. If I see with my heart, I see heaven. If I see with my mind and what I think I know, I see pain. I see disturbance. And that becomes the choice. Becomes the choice to remember, to imbibe the words of your teachers, to lead you in every moment, that you are never on your own. Did I used to hear the words of my teachers? Absolutely. Did they ring in my presence just as much as the words of all the guides that were speaking to me? Yep, absolutely. And one of the best words that would come to me constantly were the words, just drop it, which were words from my teacher, Jose. Just drop it. Every single time I thought I knew something, every single time I had a reaction, which meant I thought I knew something, I would hear that sweet voice that wasn't speaking actually in a very sweet voice, but in a gravelly voice that said, just drop it. And how simple, okay, I will. I'll just drop it, come back to God. That's all that's asked, come back to God. Trust in the divine. And open your heart to the innocence of your divine self and the beauty of every beloved as the divine, with one heart.